Good afternoon, everybody. It is Wednesday, March 18, on a rainy day. Actually, this is a good time to talk about animals because it was raining cats and dogs. There you are. It was. It was raining cats and dogs, and it'll probably rain cats and dogs again. And so I wanted to welcome you all here. Now, I'm going to be following along on my phone here, on my smartphone, following along to actually take your questions. So kids, get ready. You can ask questions. And here I am. Okay, I'm watching myself right now. Oh, we're starting to get people online. That is really good. So I don't want to say too much till we get everybody online here. So let's do that. Here we go. Yep, we're getting people online here. It is raining cats and dogs at the Ark Encounter at the Ararat Ridge Zoo. And we're going to do these programs at 3 o'clock every afternoon, weekdays, so that we can all have fun. Kids can have fun. They can learn about fun animals. And we have some fun animals for you today. We really do. A dragon, a rhino, and a chicken of the trees. How's that sound? A dragon, a rhino, and a chicken of the seas. Okay, so let me just bring this back up here again so I can follow along, and then I can read all your questions. Okay, so we're starting to get people getting on. There we are. We've got a lot of good people along right now. All right, somebody here from Southern Ohio with their kiddo. Excellent. And someone from Virginia and a number of others here. All right, so this is the Animal Active stage. Actually, this was almost ready to be opened. It was going to be opened this week. And what happened? We had to close our attractions to the public, as you know, because of this coronavirus situation that's going on in our culture. And you can see, I just have to say it one more time, if you look out here, you know how atheists say nobody comes to the Ark and the Creation Museum? Well, they are correct today. There's nobody here. Look, the seats are empty. There's nobody out there, nobody walking around. Yep. The atheists are right once again, nobody coming to the Creation Museum or the Ark Encounter. Well, that's because they're closed to the public. So that's the only time the atheists are right. Okay, so we're going to go up on stage here. And I see people getting on there. And back in here we have our animal holding area. Actually, they're just getting ready to put the finishing touches and all this. So we've got a big area back here. And starring our zoo staff, Leanne, she's going to come out here. Hi, Leanne.
Hi.
Now, she's not one of the animals we're talking about. She's a human being.
Yes.
So we're not just animals. When God made the animals, He didn't give them a soul as He had human beings, and only human beings are made in the image of God.
Yes.
But Leanne, what's our first animal here? Is this the dragon?
Yes. So here we have a dragon here at the Ark Encounter. So this
A living dragon. There it is.
A living dragon.
Wow, look at that.
Okay, so this is Titus. Titus is a savannah monitor. Savannah monitors are part of the monitor lizard kind, or the varanid kind. Now, varanid can be used to describe a dragon or a lizard beast. So that's how these animals got
so that's
their
how
name.
it gets its name, dragon.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe he'll stick his tongue out for us so you can see his really cool long tongue. He has a Jacobson's organ that allows him to basically smell the air, looking for food and other goodies. So Titus here is, as I said, part of the monitor lizard kind. This kind ranges from a little teeny tiny 9-inch long monitor lizard that was recently discovered up to a Komodo dragon.
Really?
So he is in the same created kind as the Komodo dragon.
As a Komodo dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, he's sort of like a Komodo dragon that doesn't look like a Komodo dragon.
Yeah, a little less scary than a Komodo dragon. So all of the monitored lizards do have venom. Some are more venomous than others. Titus here is perfectly harmless to people. We can handle him, hold him. We don't have to worry about his venom.
So you're going to be giving programs like this on this stage when the Ark reopens to the public.
Yes.
And during the day, be special animal programs, and you'll have special place back here for the animals. And
Yes.
we're going to feature all sorts of creatures here, aren't we?
Yes. Yep. Titus will be featured in a few of our shows.
So are savannah monitors related to hallway monitors?
Yes, they're all monitors are in the same created kind.
So I think by hallway monitors, I think they might be talking. I think you missed that one, Leanne.
Yes, I did. I didn't hear your...
So are they as savage as hallway monitors?
When they're hungry, they can be.
Yeah, I'm sure. So anyway, all right. Someone said look up Job 41, but Job 41 is talking about a beast called Leviathan that lived in the sea.
Yes.
This doesn't live in the sea.
This does not live in the sea. So these guys are land-dwelling. They are African. They live on the savannas in Africa, as their name indicates. So these guys eat a bunch of different things. They will eat insects. These guys can also eat snails as well. They have pretty powerful jaws that they can use to crush snails. So, of course, in a fallen world, they use those powerful jaws to crush snails, but we know that before Adam and Eve sinned, they probably used them to crush fruits or nuts or some other thing.
So someone said here, looks almost like a tuatara lizard in New Zealand. Do you know that particular lizard?
Yes,
This is a different kind.
This is a different kind.
Yep. Hi from Arizona. My 10-year-old son Colton wants to say hi too. Hi, Colton. And so what name do we give this particular lizard?
This is Titus.
Titus. Titus says hi back to you. Okay. How fast does it run? Julie wants to know.
These guys are pretty fast. If they see something that they want to eat, they can move very quickly. I don't know if I have to look up a high speed for them, but if they're nice and warm, they can move pretty quickly.
Well, somebody said here, hello from the zombie apocalypse area of Washington State. I know what they're referring to right now. So it's an interesting time. So there we are. So Titus is a dragon. He's a monitor lizard.
Monitor lizard.
And in the same kind, that's the remarkable thing, the same kind as the Komodo dragon.
Yes. Now, Titus here is still a baby. He's only 3 years old. So when he's fully grown, he'll be anywhere from 2.5 to 4 feet long. So he's got a lot of growing to do. These guys can weigh anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds when they're full grown. He weighs about 2 pounds right now. So he's got some more growing to do.
And you know, we have a lot of animals here at the Ararat Ridge Zoo and also in our animal area at the Creation Museum. And it takes a lot of staff to look after them daily.
Yes.
And so even while we are closed to the public, you guys have to be here 24 hours a day, basically, looking after all our critters to make sure that we carefully protect them.
Yes. Yep.
So Joshua says he likes that he is really fast.
Yes.
Jenna asks, what do they eat?
So these guys eat a variety of insects, and they will also eat snails as well. He gets a small mouse as well as that, and he'll occasionally get some shrimp too as a treat. So they're mostly insectivores or are carnivores.
Okay,
some
somebody
of them
said,
are omnivores.
Was it one of the original animals on the Ark? Well, not this particular one. That was 4,300 years ago. But the kind would be, correct?
Yes, yes.
So the kind would be Ark. So my 6-year-old daughter Hannah wants to know, how did you get Titus at the museum? Was he born there?
We actually got Titus when he was just a little hatchling. He wasn't very big when we got him, so he's grown a whole lot since we got him.
So we're gonna see a rhino in a moment. You want to see a rhino? We're gonna stand here on stage with a rhino.
Yeah, we're gonna stand on stage with a rhino.
With a rhino, yeah. Okay.
We got one more animal to get to before the rhino.
Oh, do we? We got
Yes.
one. We got
Yes.
the chicken of the trees.
We have the chicken.
A chicken of the trees.
Yeah,
I wonder what that
we're gonna
is.
bring out the chicken of the trees.
Okay. So somebody said here, how do they locate prey?
So they have Jacobson's organ. If you notice when he was kind of flicking his tongue, they have a Jacobson's organ in their tongue that basically is how they smell food. So that's how they track down food.
Someone said, hello from Southern California at home with 3 grandkids. Thanks for the distraction.
Oh, yes.
You're called a distraction, Leanne.
Hey.
So,
Okay.
So Hannah is coming. What is that? Okay. You call that a chicken of the trees? That doesn't make sense.
So this is Delilah. She is our green iguana. And these guys, where they're native, are called chicken of the trees.
Are they really? They're called chicken of the tree.
Yes.
A green iguana. It doesn't look green
iguana
to me. It looks orange.
So green iguanas have many different color mutations or morphs. It's kind of how they're called in the reptile world. So she is kind of this really dark orangish yellow right now. She's just in the middle of shedding, so she's not quite as bright as she normally is.
So Hannah and Michael say hi from Texas. Well, that. Let me see. Did you answer the question? What do you feed him?
Yes, Titus. Yes.
So I wasn't listening.
Yes. So
Okay.
Delilah here is an iguana, and she is part of the iguana kind. So all different species of iguana are members of the same family or created kind.
So there's only one iguana kind.
There's one iguana kind.
So, are they small to large to, I mean, what would this size be comparatively speaking?
So the green iguana is if you think about iguanas, it's a pretty average size. There are basically 3 different types of iguanas. There is a kind of more of an arboreal iguana, which is what Delilah here is. So you can see she's got these really long claws that make climbing really, really easy for her. So she's arboreal. So in their native range, these guys are often found in trees, which is why they're called chicken of the trees.
Oh, that answers Joshua, age 10. He asked a question, how to get its nickname. I guess that means how to get that name, chicken of the trees.
Yes. Yeah, so these guys are arboreal. We're going to see more of a rock or terrestrial iguana later. And then there's also some that are somewhat aquatic. So they actually swim quite a bit and get their food in the water.
So a 6-year-old said that his hands do look like chicken's feet.
Yes, they do. If you look really close, you can kind of see her scales here kind of almost do look like feet on a chicken.
So Reagan 7's asking, what are the large circles on the neck?
Right up here. Here are Delilah's ears. Right here are her ears.
Well, what about that big circle underneath?
So that is just part of her dewlap. So that's all iguanas have this nice thick dewlap.
What do you call it? Dewlap.
Dewlap. Mm-hmm.
Dewlap. Don't moose have dewlaps?
Yes, they do.
So what's a dewlap? Do I have a dewlap? Do I get one when I get older?
You might. So they have a variety of functions. They can be anywhere from, for reproduction, so kind of showing off for potential mates. Some animals will also kind of flare them up to make themselves look big and scary.
So Luke, age 5, asked what the circles are on the sides of his, asks, what the circles are. And somebody else down here asked if they have circles on both sides, which they do. Mm-hmm. Do you trim its claws?
So we tried to, Delilah's actually got a very nice setup. She's got several trees in her enclosure that she can climb on. So we try not to trim their nails unless they start getting really sharp points, and then we'll go ahead and we'll just use like a nail file to just trim off the very edges. These guys, just like your dog or cat at home, do have quicks or blood supplies down in their nails. So we have to be careful how much we take off because obviously we don't want to hurt them.
So there was a 4-year-old that wanted to know what the circles were on the side. We've already answered that. It's a dewlap. There's a new word for you, dewlap. That should be easy for a 4-year-old.
Yes.
So my 10 and 7-year-old would like to know what is the bubble-like thing in the side of the iguana's head. That's what we're talking about, right? That's the dewlap. See, I've learned something today. Dewlap. I guess when we get a dewlap, it's like another chin that hangs down here. Is that right?
Yeah.
So what does he eat? Kerry 12 was asking.
So iguanas are herbivores. So they eat basically any plant material. Delilah here gets a salad every single day. Sometimes she decides to eat it. Sometimes she just decides to throw it everywhere. But they do get salads every day.
So how old is she?
Delilah here is 7.
7. I'm getting so many questions. I'm sorry if I can't get to all your questions or mention all your names, but we will get as many as we can. So, Leanne, let me see if we can answer some more here. Abby and Joey watching from Savannah. 13-year-old wanted to know how often iguanas shed. There you are.
So they shed as they're growing. So they'll shed that skin because as they're growing, the skin starts to get a little bit small and gets a little bit tight, and they'll need to shed that skin. And they also do shed just like we shed. We have to shed dead skin cells. They have to shed as well. So there's really no pattern to their shedding. Some days we'll just come in and it's time for them to shed again.
There was someone here that said they were there with their kids from Washington, D.C. watching us. And I think that's probably better to do in Washington, D.C. than try to watch the news lately. Because we can have fun and say positive things, right? So what is his kind called? Zachary, 9 years old. See, isn't that great that they're asking questions, right? Yeah. So instead of the evolutionist questions, they're asking what is their kind called? They get it. They understand that.
So this is the iguana kind.
The iguana kind.
We're really original.
Oh, really original. So how do they sleep? With their eyes shut?
Yes, they will close their eyes when they're basking or sleeping.
And so Ashlyn, 9 years old, want to know how long she is.
So right now, I would say Delilah's probably a good 3 feet from the tip of her nose to the tip of her tail.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, look at that. I didn't see all that tail hanging down there.
Yeah.
Look at that. How old is she?
She's 7 years old.
She's 7 years
and
old.
she weighs about 8 pounds right now.
So Byron, age 8, wants to know how big they get.
So she's pretty much full grown right now. She might get a little bit longer because most reptiles will continue to grow throughout their lifetime, but she's pretty much full size.
So there's some children here who want to know, do they have good hearing or eyesight?
So they have very good hearing and eyesight because they need to kind of keep an eye out for predators. You can kind of see her looking around, checking things out.
And you know what? Somebody here is asking the same question I asked earlier. You call it a green iguana, and it's not green.
Yeah, so they're just different color variations within green iguanas. So she's got this pretty orangish
All right,
hue.
so let's race through a few more questions here. We got a number of questions from kids. Wow, this is great to see so many young people on here asking all these questions. And I see you can answer them as quick as you can, okay? We'll get through as many as we can. And then we've got, is it the rhino coming out?
We've got the rhino next.
Is it in a big cage? We're going to see. Okay,
No.
we've got a rhino coming. There's a rhino coming. Okay, now, I tell you what, here's a hint. We had a dragon, which was a lizard.
Mm-hmm.
We've now got an iguana, which is a lizard.
The lizard.
And next we've got a rhino. So people might want to think what they think the rhino might be, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so are we ready, Leanne?
Yes.
So how big do they get? Julie or 11?
So these guys are typically about 3 to 4 feet in length when they're full grown.
Okay, so how big is her enclosure?
So she has got a really nice size enclosure. It's about 8 feet tall and about 10 feet by 10 feet.
That's almost bigger than my bedroom.
Yes.
Okay, so my 9 and 7-year-old want to know where they live.
So these guys are native to kind of think of the West Indies, that area of the world.
4-year-old Ryder says hi and loves the animals. That's great to hear. How big can they grow? I'm watching with my son at the doctor's. How about that?
Oh, boy. Yeah, so these guys, typically 3 to 4 feet is a common average size for the green iguanas.
Okay, so any lizards carnivores?
Yes. So Titus, who we saw earlier, is a carnivore. Delilah here is mainly an herbivore.
Someone asks, is it raining? Yes, it is
Yes.
raining. the heavens broke open, and
Yes.
let's hope we don't get 40 days and 40 nights of
Yeah,
rain now.
let's
right?
hope not. But we're on this nice stage that's covered. So
Do they taste like chicken?
according to certain people, yes, they taste like chicken. I have not tasted iguana, so I
But
can't.
there are people that have eaten iguana,
Yes,
right?
iguanas are eaten.
And so maybe that's why it's called the chicken. No, we know why it's called the chicken of the trees. We talked about that there before. And so can they change color?
No, these guys pretty much stay the same color. They may change a little bit when they get warm, but they pretty much stay the
Does it
same
lose
color.
its tail?
No, these guys don't drop their tails.
Annalise, 5 years old, asks, how do they hear? I don't see ears.
Well, their ears are right here. We'll see if Delilah lets me look. They're going to be right up here. That is their ears.
There they are. Look, now you've seen a close-up of an ear of an iguana.
Yeah.
How about that? 7-year-old wants to know if it has a long tongue.
They've got fairly long tongues. Not as long as, say, the monitor lizards, but they have pretty big tongues.
Jackson, age 5, wants to know if they are aggressive.
So any lizard this size always has the potential to be aggressive. Now, Delilah here is handled frequently, but her keepers are also trained in her behavior. So if she starts showing us some signs that maybe she's getting tired or is getting bored with what we're doing, we'll go ahead and put her up because she does have very long claws and she's got that long tail that she will sometimes decide to whip around and she can hurt you pretty quickly.
So Weston 10 from Norway. How about that? He
Oh,
asked
wow.
how
There
much
we
does
go.
it weigh?
So she weighs about 7 pounds currently.
Now, we can't go through all the other ones because we've got a rhino ready to come out,
Yes.
but there's Christy here and there's, let me see, Reese and Caitlin and, all these wonderful kids here. Clara, 4 years old, wants to know if they drink water or do they get it from their food?
They mostly get it from their food. Now,
Right.
we offer all of our animals water, but a lot of our lizards do get most of their water from the
And Penny
from their
wants
food.
to know, do they swim? She's 6 years old.
They can swim, yes.
They can. You know a lot about this stuff. That's why you're our zoo manager, our senior zoo manager, I guess. Okay, so let's
Okay.
take the chicken of the trees back to the
Let's get rid of the chicken.
trees or whatever. And Now, you ready? Here it comes. There's a rhino coming out. Here come. That's a rhino?
Yes.
Oh, look, I see the horn on the head. Look, there it is. Here's a rhino.
So
it's not a rhinoceros.
Not a rhinoceros. Well, he is. He is a rhinoceros iguana. So this is Samson. He is 11 years old, and he is a rhinoceros iguana. So also a member of the iguana kind, just a different species of iguana.
Well, there you are. And I'm sorry I didn't get to all the questions from all the kids. Love having your questions. We go through and read those all later too. So do the animals catch viruses?
Animals get sick just like people do because we do live in a fallen world. But most of the animals we have here in our collection, we don't have to worry about us sharing viruses with them. If an animal were to get sick, most of the times the viruses are just specific to that species of animal. Yeah.
So Sky, that's a pretty name, isn't it? Sky 5 asks, what does he eat?
So this guy also is a herbivore, so he eats a bunch of different greens and things as well. We also occasionally offer him some protein as well.
So are Samson and Delilah a couple?
No, they're not. We got them around the same time, so they got the name Samson and Delilah. But they are two different species of iguana that have two different habitats. So as we said, Delilah is more of an arboreal iguana. Samson here is more of a rock or land-dwelling iguana. He's not really good at climbing. He tries it every now and then, and it's not pretty.
So Heidi, age 11, asks, how big can they get? And Christiana, 11, asks, how long do they live?
So these guys, Brittany, you're going to have to, why don't you answer the how long do they get question, because I cannot remember for his species.
They get about 5 to 6 feet long.
And how much do they weigh?
So this guy currently weighs 12 pounds.
Okay. So Brittany's also one of our zookeepers, right?
Yes.
Here. And how long do babies take to come out of the eggs? Asked Jane and Maggie, age 8 and 6.
I'm not sure. I want to say it's about 3 months, but I'll have to look up that fact and double check that.
So what environment do they live in?
So these guys live on the island of Hispaniola. So Samson here is one of probably our coolest animals in our collection because his species actually is endangered. So his species is just found on the island of Hispaniola.
So somebody here, this is, I don't know how to pronounce his name unless it's a misspelling. It might be Joshua. 7. What is the swelling on his neck? I want to know what that is too.
That's part of that is his dewlap. Also male iguanas.
Dewlaps. Everything has dewlaps these days. You know what? We need kids to look up. How to spell dewlap?
D-E-W-L-A-P.
D-E-W-L-A-P. Look up dewlap. Apparently lizards have dewlaps and
some of them do, yes.
Moose have dewlaps.
Yes.
Okay.
And here at his jowls, the male rhino iguanas do have to have these more prominent jowls, which helps them as they're fighting for territory and for mates.
Hey, Sophia 7 from Canada wants to know, we can cross borders, even though they're not allowed to cross borders right now, we can actually cross borders using the internet, right? Mm-hmm. And she wants to know, do all the animals have biblical names?
All the animals here at Ararat Ridge Zoo, yes, have some type of biblical name.
So Samantha 8 wants to know what the pokey things are on his back.
Those are just his spines. So they are basically a measure of defense for him. These guys are known could kind of do a roll if they feel threatened or are fighting each other or they're trying to get away from a predator that might be trying to eat them. So those spines just help when they're doing their roll to cut and slash a predator or another iguana.
So Joshua 6 says, all rhino iguanas that chunky?
Yes.
That's a chunky iguana.
It's a lot of muscle.
Yes, they're very muscular animals.
Isaac 12 wants to know, is a horn made of keratin?
Yes, his horn's got a little bit of it's got some keratin in it, just like our fingernails and his nails.
And what are the flabby things beneath its jaw? They're flabby things.
They're flabby things, yeah.
That's just his skin, right?
That's his skin.
And then you have the dewlap.
Yes.
There as well. So how long do their tails get?
So their tails can be anywhere. So these guys can be 5 to 6 feet. So their tails can be anywhere from probably 1 to 3 feet.
So these kids are asking a lot of questions. You're going to have to really, for your program, what are we doing tomorrow at 3 o'clock?
You're going to do invertebrates.
Invertebrates. So what sort of invertebrates?
So we're going to be looking at scorpions, tarantulas, maybe some hissing cockroaches.
Scorpions, tarantulas, and hissing cockroaches. That's tomorrow. Okay, how many teeth does it have? Justin 10 wants to know.
I'm not sure how many teeth they have.
Justin, you got our
Yes,
zoo manager.
you got me.
She
Look it
doesn't
up.
know how many
I'll look it up later.
She'll look it up later. We'll tell him tomorrow. Okay,
Yeah.
You watch tomorrow, Justin. We'll have the answer. How many teeth does this rhino have? Someone said, would he be in the dino family? Actually, the word dinosaur was invented in 1841, and there's probably about 80 different kinds or families of animals that they classed under the dinosaur term. So it's sort of an arbitrary term for all those. Somebody said, I love the girl holding it. There you are. So they're probably glad you don't look like the rhino. Are they powerful, Lila asks?
Yes, they are very powerful.
Do they stay with their families in the wild? Caitlin 6 asks.
No, these guys, all the lizards we talked about today are solitary. So most lizards are solitary animals. They don't really live in social groups.
So where'd you say it comes from?
This guy comes from Hispaniola.
Okay. Someone said my husband grew up on that island. Do they move fast, 11-year-old Terry?
They can move very fast when they want to, as
So
long as they're warm. So
Ava 12 wants to know how long does it take to reach full size?
these guys are going to continue to grow throughout their lifespan, but usually by the time they're about, I would say between 7 and 10, they're at their as long as they're going to get.
Okay, so Josiah and Amelia are asking questions about, is he a kid or full grown?
He is, we'll call him full grown. As I said, reptiles will grow a little bit throughout their lifespan, but he's pretty much full size now.
So Zaki 3 says, does it stand on its back legs?
Just when he's trying to climb on things.
Are they endangered?
Yes, these guys, this species of iguana is endangered.
Okay, and we're allowed to have one here at the Ararat
Yes.
Ridge Zoo because we have all the proper care for them and we have the properly trained people. So do they like being handled?
Samson, it's one of those things like with any animal. Sometimes they're good with being handled, and then other times they're like, nope, I don't really want to be handled right now. So all of our animals in our program collection, they have the choice whether they want to participate or not. So if we go to get an animal out for a program and they're exhibiting some behaviors that maybe we don't want to handle them with, we'll go ahead and switch them out with another animal.
Well, we've got a ton of other questions. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to be able to get to them, or there's so many, but it's great you're asking all those questions. And we'll go through and read those. Somebody said, is their skin loose, or why is their skin loose? Do you know why the skin is loose? Skin's not that loose, but...
His skin's not that loose. Their skin's going to be a little bit loose. It's probably, I think part of it's kind of the way he's kind of sitting in Brittany's hands right now.
So let me just go through this again. Tomorrow, are we at the Creation Museum or at the Ark?
We're at the Creation Museum
At the
tomorrow.
Creation Museum, we're going to do the invertebrates. So we're going to do, what did you say again? I think tarantulas?
Tarantulas.
Hissing cockroaches?
Hissing cockroaches.
Are we going to hear them hiss?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. And what else tomorrow?
We'll also do scorpions.
Scorpions?
And a vinegaroon.
What's a vinegaroon? Don't tell them.
Don't know.
No,
You have to
3
tune in
o'clock-
tomorrow.
3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Now, here, have a look here. These are the Facebook Live programs we're doing while we're closed to the public during this coronavirus situation. 10 a.m. we have science experiments. Kids love those with Roger Patterson and some of his helpers. Fantastic. It was really great today again. 12 o'clock, a special presentation, I'd say teens and upwards for that. And then 3 o'clock, we have the animal encounter. 7 o'clock tonight, I'm actually going to go to the planetarium at the Creation Museum. We're going to do a live, Facebook Live from there and show them the brand new planetarium. The seats are in for the first time. They're going to be the first people in the entire world to see the planetarium finished with the seats in it and its upgraded laser projectors. I'm going to stand beside one of those projectors and I'll look really small. Now that's for tonight. And I haven't even seen it finished yet. So there we are. And wanted to mention to you, hey, if you're looking for something to watch, mums and dads, you want something for the kids, grandkids to watch, Buddy's Swamp Man, he has a number. Buddy Davis is an adventurer and our dinosaur sculptor. He has a number of great DVDs available. And you can get everything right now. Anything that we sell online, we're going to give you as a special because of all that's going on in our culture right now, and because we're closed to the public, 20% off. You just use that promo code Matthew6. And whatever you order from our store, you get 20% off. I want to mention a couple of other things. This is a book that I and Buddy Davis did, called It's Designed to Do What It Does Do, What It Does Do, It Does Do Well, Doesn't It? Don't you think? I think it does do you. I do hope you do too, do you? Okay? And the kids go through here. It's for young kids, and they can have fun learning about all those creatures that we have there. And then, as well as that, just want to mention, hey, you'd be interested in this. It's called The Riot and the Dance. Have you ever watched those nature programs on television? You know, the ones, Leanne, like with David Attenborough, and they're all evolutionists. This is the same sort of quality as you'd expect from, you know, the BBC, David Attenborough programs, but they're from a biblical world view, and absolutely incredible. And I highly, highly recommend that, The Riot and the Dance. So you can get 20% off any of those programs. So just give you, well, let's have a look back here. Just a sneak look in the animal holding area. Oh, they're back here with those creatures. We can just have a sneak look in here. They're getting this all ready for when we open again, which hopefully will be soon. And this is where the animal holding area is. Look, it's beautiful in here, beautiful and warm. And they're just getting this ready to be completed. They have it so that we can wash it all down from animal waste and so on here, keep it clean. So this is all part of our animal actor stage that we have at the Ark Encounter. That will be operational as soon as we open to the public again.
Yes.
And that depends on the governor, and depends upon the president, and depends upon whatever's going on in our culture. And pray for us at Answers in Genesis. Pray for Leanne and her staff and all our staff, because when we're not open and we don't have people buying the tickets to come in, to look after the whole place and our staff is very stressful and very difficult. And so you can go to the answersingenesis.org website. On the front page, I have a personal letter, and it gives our response to the coronavirus situation. I encourage you to read that. And if you can support us in any way, that would be great. The more people that support us to help keep the animals all safe and fed, and all zookeepers looking after them. This is a little stressful time for us, so please pray for us. And we'll see you tomorrow. I see you tonight at 7 o'clock from the planetarium, the brand new planetarium, and then tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. At the Creation Museum. Hissing cockroaches and a what'd you say, vinegaroon? Vinegaroon. I don't know what a vinegaroon is, but we're going to find out tomorrow.
Maybe some of the kids can look it up tonight and find out what it is.
Hey, thanks for, look, we got,
oh my goodness.
There are so many questions here. And people are thanking us for doing it, and that their kids love it, and it's great teaching for the kids, and it's from a biblical worldview perspective as well. So thank you all. Hey, kids, get your questions ready for tomorrow. Go look up some things. I tell you what, look at some things about hissing cockroaches, vinegaroon, scorpions, and what else did you say? Tarantulas. See if you can trick our senior Zoom. Are you the one tomorrow, or is it another one? Who is it tomorrow? Karina?
Our animal presenter's doing it tomorrow.
One of our animal presenters. She knows a lot about animals.
She knows a lot.
It's going to be
see
hard.
If you can trick her.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to trick her. Get ready for tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Okay, good afternoon from a rainy day at the Ark Encounter in Northern Kentucky.